Welcome back to Hannity. So my next guest, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. He won his third election in 4 years this past Tuesday, solidifying his rock star status in the GOP. And sorry to break it to the Democrats, but Walker is just getting started. Take a listen to what Rush Limbaugh, had to say on the undefeated governor's latest victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Republican Party has a genuine star. The Republican Party has a demonstrated genuine hero and potential star in its ranks, and he is the governor of Wisconsin. His name is Scott Walker. Every American labor union, thug, a rigged judiciary, a rigged media, the Democrat Party has thrown everything they've got at Scott Walker, and he has beat them back without one syllable of complaint, without 1 ounce of whining. All he has done is win.
Joining me now, the man himself, Governor Scott Walker. High praise from the master, and by the way, I say ditto. I agree with him. They went at you with everything they had, Governor. Good for you.
They did indeed, but in the end, we felt here in Wisconsin, I think across America, people want to be for something, not against something. The people in Washington, the big government special interest, they tried to tell our voters what they were against. We clearly laid out what we were for lower taxes, for better schools, for a better future for our children, our grandchildren, and people in our state said we don't want the Washington top-down, artificial, government knows best approach. The organic, fresh, new, exciting build-up from the ground-up approach that we embraced.
Who were the big so-called stars that were brought in to campaign for, by the way, third election in 4 years? That's brutal. Who are the so-called stars that were brought in to campaign for your opponent?
Oh, they had everybody. They had Bill Clinton, they had Elizabeth Warren, they had the President of the United States who came in a Tuesday before the election in a war that went 99% for him in the last election, and they couldn't even up the vote there. They brought in Richard Trumka. They brought in not just the AFL-CIO, but 3 national union leaders came in from the NEA, AFSCME, and the AFL-CIO, and they all said I was their #1 target in America. And I said it was simple. That's because we took their power away, the power away of the big government special interest in Washington, and we put it in the hands of our state's taxpayers, and they didn't much like that, but the taxpayers did.
How much money do you estimate they spent against you? All the outside groups, the party, how much money do you think they threw at you?
Oh, it's tens of millions of dollars. And remember, it's not just what they spent this time. They literally started almost 4 years ago. On November 2nd of 2010, a website was registered called recallscottwalker.com. That was 4 years ago. Wow. They started that spring with millions of dollars. They ran the recall election, which cost us something like $80 million. And then they were back at it again this fall.
You know, it's interesting because I was in Wisconsin about 4 weeks ago, and I was commenting about, I mean, if you believe the ads, you are the devil. You're Satan, or the son of Satan, one of the others. I mean, they were brutal.
Yeah.
Let's go over, because I actually think what people like yourself, John Kasich, cruised to re-election. Rick Scott, you got, look at, for example, in Texas, you got a new governor there. Rick Perry had been there 16 years. Wendy Davis, the so-called star, was going to take over. Bobby Jindal, Nikki Haley reelected. What was the debt when you came into office? What is the debt now? How much have you lowered taxes, and how many jobs have been? What was the unemployment numbers?
$3.6 billion in deficit when I came in. We now have about $1 billion surplus that this spring we gave back to the taxpayers. For the third time this year alone, we lowered taxes. Taxes have gone $2 billion lower since I've taken office. Property taxes and income taxes, both alike, are lower than they were 4 years ago. Imagine that. Property taxes are actually lower in a typical home than the levy, not the rate. The actual levy is lower. We've seen 110,000 new jobs, and at the beginning of 2010, the unemployment rate was 9.2%. Last month, it was down to 5.5%, the lowest it's been in 6 years.
Wow. You know, because I think this is a template or a model that should be duplicated on the national level. Give me the advice you would say to, now the Republicans have control of the House and Senate, don't you think the answer is putting conservative solutions like you use that work for the people of Wisconsin? Isn't that a key component if they want to stay in power?
Absolutely, Sean. You'll get a kick out of this. 4 years ago, we came in. Everything was Democrat. November 2nd of 2010, we switched it all. My Assembly and Senate Republicans came together a few days after the election, and I said it's put up or shut up time. What I meant by that is we flipped everything, and if we were just a little bit less bad than the Democrats who were in before us, the voters would have every right to throw us out. Obviously, we did stand up and lead. We did exactly what we said we were going to do. And 4 years later, even with all this money, all these attacks, not only did I win, but we added seats in our state Senate. We added seats in our state Assembly. My message to my friends heading off to Washington to be a part of that new Senate majority is lead.
Yeah.
Get out there and lead. Show the American people you can get something done. That's what they're craving.
You solve the problems, you get rewarded. It's good policies equal good politics. Conservative policies equal good politics, which equal good political results. All right, Governor, congrats. Good for you. I was happy about your election. And coming up, find out how